Joe, what's the political temperature right now in the US? It's coming up to Tuesday, big day. What's the atmosphere like?
The country's on fire. Everybody's ready for these elections to be here. And I think most people believe, rightly, that the Republicans are probably going to have a really good day next Tuesday.
Why is that, Joe? Is it because the Democrats are losing the argument, or is it because this is all building up to the return of Donald Trump to the White House?
You mentioned history. I mean, historically, the president's party does lousy in these first midterms, but it's more than that. Look, and understand, I was a Republican my whole life. I left the Republican Party 2 years ago. I think the Republican Party is an existential threat to democracy in America. But having said all of that, the Democrats have done a lousy job of explaining this worldwide economy coming out of a once in a lifetime pandemic. And the Democrats have done a lousy job conveying how much of a threat Republicans are to our democracy. So, because of that, most American voters don't understand it and they blame Democrats for the high price of gas.
So the people who are going to be going to those booths on Tuesday and making those choices, what are the stalls that they're choosing in between, Joe? What are the Democrats offering? What are they fighting this election on? And what are the Republicans fighting this election on?
Again, the Republicans have been brilliant in all year. All they've been talking about is inflation, crime, the
Mhm.
border. Inflation, crime, the border. Here we are 3 or 4 days before the election, and the Democrats still don't know what their message is. Now, part of the problem is Joe Biden is not 40, 50, or 60 years old. He's done a decent job, but he's not a strong communicator. So the American people have never really understood the message that the Democrats have been trying to spread.
One of the alarming issues that has been pointed out by certain, it's fair to say, Democrat commentators I've been listening to over the past week has been the fact that a lot of Republican candidates standing for office have not actually confirmed whether or not they will accept the result if it goes against them. This is harking back, of course, to January 6th, this idea that quite a lot of Republicans still share that the election of the past election was stolen. Um, how concerning is that? Are Republicans, some Republicans, holding their noses and voting Republicans, or is the whole Republican Party base supporting this idea that just because a candidate loses, that doesn't mean that we have to accept the result?
Damn near the whole base. I mean, let's be really clear. We have two major political parties in this country, and one of our major political parties, the Republican Party, has given up on democracy. I cannot emphasize that enough. These election deniers, these candidates who refuse to say they'll accept the results of the election. This is now the vast majority of the Republican Party. It should be the single most important thing that every American votes on. But most Americans don't understand it yet, or get it yet, or don't really feel the threat. Like, they don't like what happened in on January 6th in 2000, but they say, come on, Joe, it can't, it'll get better. It'll get better. It won't get better.
Are you worried that this could lead to more violence, the kind of violence that we saw, the attack on the Capitol?
It will lead to more violence. What happened on January 6th is the beginning of political violence in this country. It will get a hell of a lot worse. Donald Trump is going to announce he's running for president this next month, and no Republican will challenge him. The party is his, and he's the chief election denier. And so, yes, we are at the beginning of a long, ugly, bumpy, violent political road in America.
And Joe, as expected, there is the possibility that both houses go Republican, perhaps the lower house to go
Yeah.
Republican, and the Democrats to hold on to the Senate. a lot of people have been saying that should both houses go Republican, we might see the end, for example, to the January 6th committee. We might see all the law enforcement agencies that are looking
Yep.
into Donald Trump and his dealings be quietly pushed aside. Do you expect that to happen?
Oh yeah. Look, my friend, if Republicans take back one or both houses of Congress, it's going to be a revenge tour. It's going to be 2 years of revenge. Republicans are going to investigate every single Democrat. They'll investigate the FBI. They'll investigate the Justice Department. They'll haul Dr. Fauci back in front of Congress. They'll talk about Hunter Biden and the laptop, and they'll try to impeach a bunch of people. It's going to be Republicans exacting revenge for how unfairly they believe their leader, Donald Trump, was treated. Nothing will get done for the American people.
And you said that if Donald Trump is going to announce, which is widely expected, particularly if Tuesday is good news for the Republicans, does he really not have any dissenting voices within the party? I mean, Ron DeSantis down in Florida, could we not see a sort of a challenge to Donald Trump authority over the Republican Party?
I say no. Other people will tell you different things. It's his party. And if you're Ron DeSantis, if you're another one of these up and coming Republicans, and you take on the king and you don't beat the king, and the king will just tear you up, that's a really dangerous, risky thing to do. I can't emphasize this enough. It's Donald Trump's party. And look, 2 years ago, Donald Trump tried to overthrow an American election, and the party didn't leave him then. In fact, his hold on the party is stronger now. Man, you'd be stupid to try to take that on as a Republican. Your career would be over.
Joe, just final question. What has this done to the fabric of society in the US? President Biden came to office with with a mission to unite the nation. 2 years on, it doesn't sound like he's achieved that.
No, but it was an impossible mission. I'm glad that he said it, but it was impossible. This country is too divided. And who knows what this country is going to look like in 8 or 10 or 12 years. I don't know that this country can stay together. That may sound like crazy talk, but that's where we're headed right now. We have not been this divided since just before the Civil War. This is a scary, dangerous time in America right now. And the rest of the world had better be paying attention.